Yesterday, the Springboks dropped a bombshell by releasing their 23-man side to face Australia this weekend, which has caused a lot of discussion, some good discussion and some bad discussion. But what I think it's really done is revealed Rassie Rasmus's plan that no one could have predicted. I just want to take a moment to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. If you don't know, we're trying to interview Siya Kolisi and Rassie Erasmus by the end of this year. So if you haven't, please motor that subscribe button, leave this video a like, and drop your thoughts on this revealed plan down in the comments. Let's get into it. Now, I want to take us back all the way to the 2023 Rugby World Cup and really build up what I'm trying to deliver to you guys today. So in the 2023 Rugby World Cup, we only had two fly-offs, Monty Leok and Handré Pollard, and then Faf de Klerk kind of filled in where need be. Monty obviously had a very, very good World Cup and got us all the way to the semi-finals, but his weakness started to show, which was his place kicking. I mean, it's no secret that Monty Leok's weakness is his place kicking, but he's a very, very good attacking fly-off. Even with his tactical kicks, he can break a line open, and that's really what Monty is good at. Now, obviously, in a Rugby World Cup, you do need to kick all of your points, so that's why Handré Pollard came in and kicked beautifully, 100% kicking success in the Rugby World Cup. So we kind of left the Rugby World Cup with the trophy, with our number one fly-off being Handré Pollard, who can kick for poles, and our number two fly-off, Monty Leok, who's a lot more attacking than Handré Pollard. Then post-World Cup, we suddenly get an abundance of fly-offs. They come out of nowhere. Monty Leok, Handré Pollard, Jordan Hendrikse, Siya Masuku, and Sasha Fuzulu. Now, I do think Rassie had to figure out the pecking order of these fly-offs and what their weaknesses and strengths were. Now, going into that Wales test, the first test of the year, it was clear to see that Siya Masuku was at the bottom of that pecking order. Even though he had a very, very good season for the Sharks, it just wasn't good enough to get him into a Springbok team, which is a little bit unfortunate because I thought Siya had a very, very good URC campaign, and then obviously they won the Challenge Cup, but maybe he just isn't ready for Springbok rugby yet. We then move over into the Wales test, and this is where Rassie Erasmus started experimenting with his fly-off options. We saw him start Jordan Hendrikse, who was on debut, and we saw Sasha Fuzulu on the bench also for his debut. Now, I don't think Jordan Hendrikse had a bad game against Wales, but he just didn't look comfortable, right? He didn't have a spectacular game. Some opportunities that he tried to create, he slipped when he was trying to put people through gaps. He made a couple of silly errors, and that was just the nerves of the occasion getting to him. Sasha Fuzulu comes onto the pitch off the bench and ends up slotting that massive, massive penalty, and we all saw how happy Rassie Erasmus was with that penalty. So now, after the Wales test, Rassie has tested Jordan Hendrikse, and maybe he just isn't quite there yet. It also shows the difference in the Springbok system of sort of bringing Sasha up through junior books, under 20 books, SAA, and maybe Jordan Hendrikse not getting those opportunities and not being so familiar with the Springbok system. We then move over into the Ireland series, and for the first test against Ireland, Pollard started and Sasha was on the bench. Now, Pollard had a very, very good game in that number 10 jersey, but he did miss two kicks. The thing that Handré Pollard is renowned for, he wasn't 100% capable to do that against Ireland. We then saw Sasha come on in that 10 position, play for about 3 minutes, but we still didn't really know what we are getting from Sasha Fuzulu. We then move over into the second Ireland test with the exact same team, but the only difference now is that Willie Leroux goes off in the 3rd minute and Sasha Fuzulu has to play that 15 role. So Handré Pollard had to play 80 minutes. Sasha gets 77 minutes of test match experience, but in the number 15 position. And this is where questions started to come up. Is Sasha Fuzulu the number 10 that Rassie Erasmus is looking for? Or is he more of a utility back? Can he play 10, 12, 15? Where does Rassie Erasmus see Sasha fitting into the Springbok setup? Now, Handré Pollard had a very, very good game against Ireland in that second test, almost getting us back into the game through his place kicking. Now, while the Ireland series might not be exactly what we were hoping for, we were hoping for a 2-0 win, Ireland sneaking that last test. So there was a little bit of a damper on the mood in South Africa, but Rassie Rasmus was still working with a plan. We had seen Sasha now get 77 minutes in the 15 role, and you could kind of see him relax a little bit more in a Springbok top. We saw his attacking capabilities, that counter-attacking, and that he can kick out of hand. Now, why am I building this all up? What am I trying to say? Well, Tony Brown's new system. There's been a lot of chatter over the last couple of months about Tony Brown and his new system and how the Springboks are trying to play their rugby. It's clear to see that Tony Brown is trying to influence the Springboks to play more attacking-minded rugby. We saw it in that first Ireland test. We saw it against Portugal. Yes, it was against Portugal, but we were down to 14 men. Sasha starts at 10, has a very, very good game against Portugal. And we can kind of see where the Springboks are trying to go. Now, the question needs to be asked, is Handré Pollard the best number 10 for that system? Yes, Handré Pollard is a world-class 10, and he doesn't feel pressure, which is why he can win us World Cups and why he can kick so well. But we started to see, especially after Portugal, that maybe Sasha fits better into that number 10 jersey in this system, which then brings up the next question, does Monty Leok not fit better into the system than Handré Pollard? So all of these questions were being thrown out and no one could really give an answer. You then also have to look at the inside center role and how that fits into the system. It's clear that the Springboks want a passing number 12 at the moment. Damian de Allende has been praised by Tony Brown for being one of the best passers in the Springbok side. But what if you could have a fly-half who plays 10 and a fly-half who plays 12? And this is what I'm getting at. I think Rassie Rasmus's new plan that no one has expected is to put Handré Pollard in the 12 jersey, and then you're free to fiddle with that number 10 position. Is the best 10 Sasha? Is the best 10 Mani under this new system? Because then Mani doesn't have to kick. If Handré Pollard's on the field, Pollard can kick, Mani can be unleashed and take that pressure off of him, allowing him to express himself as he would as an attacking style fly half. Adding to this, I do think we lack a little bit of depth in that number 12 jersey, and you can almost see Rassie Rasmus trying to rectify it at the moment. Yes, we have Damian de Allende, we have Andre Esterhuizen, but besides that, we don't really have anyone to play that inside center. Now, a lot of flack has been given to Lukhanyo, who is playing 12 against Australia this weekend. But this is Rassie trying to build that depth. He was very, very impressed by how Lukhanyo controlled that 12 and 13 channel against Portugal. And Lukhanyo is actually a 12. He came up through the system playing inside center and then moved to outside center for the Sharks. Adding to this, that Sasha Fuzulu had a really, really good first test against Australia. It kind of puts Rassie in a very difficult position because you've got this young guy, Sasha, who looks like he's been playing for the Springboks for 10 years. He's super composed. He knows the system. He's a very good attacking fly half who can break open. He's almost like a Damian McKenzie. He gets the ball at the back of the field, finds a hole, exploits it. We saw it in the first Australian test where he passed to Willie and then Willie took contact. So Sasha provides a lot more attacking options than Handré Pollard does, and so does Monty Leok. So suddenly now we have two Monty Leok style fly halves that fit into the Tony Brown system, but we had to solve the kicking. Yes, Sasha can kick. We saw him miss 2 kicks against Australia in that first test. But if we have Handré Pollard on the field, then that problem is solved. So here's what I think is going to happen into the second test. And here's what I think Rassie Rasmus is trying to do that none of us really expected. I mean, Handré Pollard is a 2-time World Cup winning fly-off, one of the best fly-offs on the planet. But now we have Sasha Fuzulu, who's basically a generational talent. We have Monty Leok, who can also perform. I mean, we know how good he can be when he's attacking and he's on song and he doesn't have to worry about the kicking. So I think what's going to happen in the second Australian test is obviously Sasha starting. You got Lukhanyo at 12, you got Jesse at 13, and then you've got Handré and Mani on the bench. I think what's going to happen is Sasha's going to start, obviously. He's going to play about 50 to 60 minutes, and then Monty Leok is going to come on for Sasha in that number 10 jersey. Sasha's going to go off, depending on what's happening with Fussy. Maybe if Fussy gets injured, he'll move to 15. But I think the plan is to remove Sasha from the game, put Marnie in at 10, and then test out Lukhanyo at 12. Bring Pollard on for Lukhanyo in that number 12 position, and then move Lukhanyo to that 13 or outside center role. So I think that is the big test that Rassie, Rasmus, and the Springboks are going to run this weekend against Australia, and I'm here for it. I mean, if you can have Andre Pollard at inside center who can kick all the points, it gives you another kicking option in that number 12 jersey, because Damien Delende doesn't kick. So suddenly now you've got a fly-off that can kick, you've got an inside center that can kick, and you've got a fullback that can kick. It gives us a lot more exit options. It's a very, very clever plan, and I'm very excited to see if it unfolds on Saturday. A bit of a long-winded explanation, but I did feel like I had to give you guys all the background so you can understand my thinking. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you haven't, please absolutely murder that subscribe button. Leave this video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.